Hello, welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at a new trailer that just got announced, and as you're gonna see here already, all Generation 8 starter Pokemon are coming to Pokemon Go for the upcoming season. We're very likely gonna get some season news throughout the week here for sure for the next season called Max Out, which they revealed like a week ago on accident. But yeah, you're going to see here already the Scorbunny, we're going to see here the, forgot the name of it, like the Grookey, and we see the water type starter that nobody really picked anyway. But yeah, we also have something afterwards, which is going to be this one, and what Pokemon is going to be. Very likely going to be Woodle based on those little, Wulps here. I don't really know what it is, but yeah, it should be very likely Woodle as a max out Pokemon. There is a Dynamax Pokemon. So, today we're going to take a look at if this starter is going to have some potential right now already, what kind of potential they have in the future, and kinda so on. So, starting off, we're going to take a look here at the first starter Pokemon, Thackery. That's going to be the mid-stage evolution for the grass type starter. This Pokemon is going to have a solid overall stat product here for sure. Razor Leaf as a fast move, not really that great, especially after the recent nerf. And only grass type coverage is not going to make this Pokemon very, very good. Sometimes mid evolutions are very decent. This time around, it doesn't really look like this. Next on the list is going to be Rillaboom, the final evolution of Grookey. Going to be a Pokemon that is also only having access to a Scratch and Razor Leaf currently in the code. Grass Knot, Energy Ball, as well as Earth Power is going to be a bit better, especially Earth Power, especially if we're going to take a look at the future, which you're going to do later as well. This Pokemon is going to have most likely the most amount of potential out of all three of them, but currently also only 6 wins, 28 losses, not really looking too great. Next one, we're going to have Reboot. Reboot is going to be the evolution of Scorbunny, going to be a little fire rabbit boy there as well, having access to Ember and Tackle. Not ideal. Flame Charge, Flamethrower, the only moves that it can learn, otherwise also not ideal. And so this Pokemon is not going to be any worth as well, so not really looking too good for the starter so far. Maybe Cinderace can help it out a bit more here, as Cinderace is going to have access to Ember, Tackle, Focus Blast, and Flame Charge as a coverage move, and this is also not going to make this Pokemon very solid. So, final hopes is going to be on Drizzile, I think it's called. Not Drifblim. Drifblim would be also kind of hilarious, but it's Drizzile. This Pokemon is going to have the okay bulk, pure water type as well, water gun, surf, water pulse, no coverage. Again, not a good Pokemon. 4 wins, 31 losses. But it's all downhill to Inteleon. Is Inteleon going to be good? No, it's also not going to be great. And it has coverage here with Shadow Ball. And this is like the awkward thing about the starter type Pokemon there. All of them are pure types, even though it is quite obvious that they could have been a double type with a certain move, which here Niantic also kind of acknowledges by giving the moveset. We have Shadow Ball on Inteleon, who looks kind of like a ghost type Pokemon, especially also with kind of what it does in the game. We have a fighting type move on Cinderace, which looks like a fighting type Pokemon, but it is not a fighting type Pokemon. Then we have Rillaboom, which clearly looks like a ground and grass type Pokemon that has ground type coverage, but is just a pure grass type. Here's one thing though for them, which you're gonna take a look at it afterwards as well. There is a lot of potential for the future, which you're gonna take a look at the moveset as well later on. Yeah, this is like the Pokemon that we're going to get there as well, and how they're gonna perform in the Open Great League for the upcoming season. And as you're gonna see, none of them is really worth picking up. A Reboot actually is going to have mostly the best kind of win rate here, which is kind of hilarious because of all of the Pokemon that are weak to fire type moves there. Otherwise, of course, Thackery actually going to be better than the Rillaboom as well, and then the Drizzile is going to be better than so the pre-evolutions are all better than the main Pokemon, which is quite ridiculous, and hopefully it's gonna change. We have another slide later on as well, which is gonna showcase that those Pokemon have some potential out of the moves as well that they could learn also currently that might make them better, but let's take a look at the Pokemon themselves. First up here, we're going to have Rillaboom. This Pokemon is going to be, again, just a pure grass type Pokemon, sadly, but there are a lot of interesting moves that this Pokemon can learn. For example, Drum Beating. This is going to be basically those signature moves that Niantic also decided to now integrate into Community Days as like moves that they can learn afterwards, so this move very likely going to come into the game. Use a drum controlling roots or whatever, and it's going to drop the opponent's speed stat, which is very important because a speed step dropping in Pokemon Go means attack drop is gonna get dropped from the opponent. So Drum Beating can be very impactful later on when this is gonna get a Community Day. Then we need some kind of new fast move though for this Pokemon, which is going to be a little bit more difficult to find here. Magical Leaf is sadly the best one so far. Doesn't learn Vine Whip, even though it has literally vines up there, like literally what it is, but doesn't learn Vine Whip apparently. And also the pre-evolution stone, and so there's not really much it learns. Bullet Seed it learns, and that's basically it for this Pokemon in terms of what it learns. What also this Pokemon learns, which I'm kind of hoping that's gonna come into the game, is Grassy Glide. This is going to be something that is also introduced in like the Isle of Armor. Going to be a fast move maybe for this Pokemon, which I would imagine. Like a new grass type fast move would be Grassy Glide. I would really like to see this move in the game because a lot of grass type Pokemon would be able to learn this one, and it looks like a great potential fast move for those Pokemon. So this might be also a saving grace for it. Cinderace, on the other hand, interesting shiny. I actually like the shiny quite a bit from this Pokemon. Looks like so completely different. This Pokemon is going to have kind of a similar problem. We have Pyro Ball, which is definitely not going to be a fast move, even though it would be cool as a fast move. But a 120 attack move is very unlikely going to be a fast move for this Pokemon. So we have to look at something like Double Kick and Quick Attack as the best fast move this Pokemon can learn. Actually, it learns Counter as well, as one of the few Pokemon that learns from level up. But it doesn't matter anyway because Counter got nerfed. Mudslap actually is also something that's interesting for this Pokemon for the future. Still, by the way, because those Pokemon are not released yet, Niantic can change the moveset as well. Trailblaze would be very interesting for this one. So like something like even Mudslap Trailblaze would be very cool already for this Pokemon, which I didn't even consider yet. But like there's actually a lot that this Pokemon could be learning in the future. But yeah, it is kind of it for this one so far. And then we're going to have Inteleon here. Going to be also an interesting shiny again, and this one gets Snipe Shot, and I could see Snipe Shot being a fast move, which would be very cool, like something similar to like Water Shuriken on Greninja. But we have to see on how this is gonna go. It would be very interesting if this is going to get into the game. Anything else here would be like something like Sucker Punch, which also Cinderace was able to learn, by the way. Sucker Punch definitely most likely the most ideal fast move for it. Learns Icy Wind as a charge move here. I really would like to see Whirlpool in the game as a new fast move that takes like maybe 5 turns even. Would be kind of cool to see that kind of stuff. But other than this Pokemon is actually not really that great, but honestly, it was also not that great in the main series game. So let's take a look what I came up with here as a current solution. Of course, all the Community Day moves I just kind of put onto them. Magical Leaf here as a fast move for Rillaboom as like the best kind of fast move I think it can currently learn. We have Sucker Punch, Swift, which got buffed recently, and Blast Spin on Cinderace. And then we're going to have Inteleon with Sucker Punch, Shadow Ball, and the Hydro Cannon. But yeah, this starter trio is most likely one of the worst ones for Pokemon Go, mainly also because they are pure types, like they don't have a secondary typing, and they don't really have a great move pool either, or great stats to back it up with, so that is going to be quite awkward for them. Very likely just for dex filling, and even with like the kind of ideal moveset that they currently could have, neither of them is going to be actually meta breaking or anything like this, so they would need some specific new extra moves to be very good. Anyway, there's one more thing that we also can take a look at here as well. The Pokemon group found some more Pokemon that can Dynamax now with the current assets, and there are actually some quite interesting ones here, like Metagross, like Phalanx, like the Gengar, like the Haunter, like the Ghastly. There are quite some interesting ones in here, as you're gonna see as well. Phalanx as a big boy. We're going to have here the Ghastly, we're going to have the Haunter, and Gengar looks a little bit bugged. But this is going to be it for this video. This is going to be it for the short announcement that we have here. Sadly, the starter Pokemon are very likely not going to be meta, but it is what it is. And I see you then. Bye bye.